Hello and good evening. I'm Leon Harris with NBC4. Over the past year, we've reported on how COVID-19 has affected the most basic human needs for health, food, and safe shelter. Tonight, we celebrate Miriam's Kitchen and the caring community that stepped up to make sure that our neighbors experiencing homelessness could get the urgent care and the support they needed, from meals to housing. We'll hear from Miriam's Kitchen staff and their partners. We'll honor community members who have helped to advance Miriam's Kitchen's mission of ending chronic homelessness in D.C. and more. Now, to share a bit more of what the past year has been like at Miriam's Kitchen is President and CEO Scott Schenkelberg.
Good evening. My name is Scott Schenkelberg. I'm the CEO of Miriam's Kitchen. Welcome to our Mission Critical Gala. It's May 2021, and I thought by now we might be having a different conversation. I thought the pandemic would be in our rearview mirror and we would be back to doing what we've done for over 30 years, which is welcoming individuals experiencing homelessness back into the warmth and hospitality of our dining room to enjoy a great meal and connect with our case manager on a variety of issues, including getting back into housing. But that is not yet the reality. Since March 2020, we've been providing these critical services in tents outside of our facility to ensure the health and safety of our guests, our staff, and our volunteers. We knew closing wasn't an option. The individuals who come to Miriam's Kitchen rely on our services and are amongst the most vulnerable individuals in our community. When the rest of us were receiving advice to stay at home, shelter in place, and socially distance, if you were experiencing homelessness, that advice was virtually impossible to follow. So despite the risks to our health, and despite the harder work it entailed, we knew we had to maintain our operations. And just a few examples, our chefs have been putting in 12+ hour days since the beginning of the pandemic to provide incredible meals for our guests because we couldn't welcome volunteers in due to the risk of exposure. Our case managers has been schlepping cases of food and water and clothing and dealing with a portable restroom, all while providing great case management services. So despite the heat of the summer, the cold, the ice of the winter, we have been able to house over 100 individuals across the past year. So while I'm extremely grateful to our staff for their amazing work, I'm also grateful to all of you who have provided incredible and needed financial support to us so that we could maintain that work. I want to call out a few of the folks that are supporting us this evening, including the Boeing Company, our presenting sponsor, our belonging honorees, the A. James and Alice B. Clark Foundation, and the J. Willard and Alice S. Marriott Foundation, and the World Bank. Also our honorees, FCC Commissioner Jeffrey Starks and Senator Kyrsten Sinema. I am hopeful that we are nearing the end of the pandemic. It gives me hope to see so many of our frontline staff and so many of our guests receive the vaccine. And while I don't have a crystal ball, I really hope we don't have to spend another winter outside providing services. Before we welcome people back in, we're going to spend that time renovating our bathrooms, redoing the floor of the dining room, and putting in whatever precautions are necessary to make sure that people are safe when they come back inside. And throughout all of this, we have maintained our work to end long-term homelessness in DC. On any given day, there are still 1,300 individuals who have been on the streets or in the shelters of DC for years. And we've made so much progress over the past decade. Long-term homelessness has decreased by 40%. Miriam's Kitchen knows how to end long-term homelessness. And through your support, we will be able to continue that critical work throughout the end of the pandemic and beyond.
Good evening. I'm Cheryl Bell, the executive chef of Miriam's Kitchen, and I would like to thank you for joining us this evening to celebrate our wins and triumphs during 2020. My team and I have been dedicated to ensure that our guests were able to receive healthy, scratch-made meals every day, Monday through Friday. And none of that would have been possible without our volunteers. We always say, we could not do what we do without our volunteers, and without question, they have proved it. I would love to share with you a list of volunteers who have supported us and been dedicated to supporting the teams for outside dining and the kitchen. And now, I would like to introduce you to the Invisible Man, who graciously featured Miriam's Kitchen in the Washington Post magazine. The one, the only, Tom Sietsema.
Thank you so much for giving me the chance to sing the praises of Miriam's Kitchen, one of my favorite dining destinations in Washington. That might sound odd coming from someone who has spent decades eating in restaurants for work, but when you stop to think about it, Miriam's Kitchen offers everything a good restaurant does. Obviously, it has thoughtful cooking in its favor. Under the watch of Chef Cheryl Bell, almost everything is made from scratch: the bread, the salad dressings, even the hot sauce. The food is also prepared with the health of its recipients in mind. Meats are lean, whole grains trump white grains, vegetarian options are available. As someone who has visited Miriam's Kitchen anonymously several times since the pandemic, I can vouch that the food looks and tastes like something any restaurant would be proud to serve. Just as important, Miriam's Kitchen treats its guests, and that's the word it uses, like most favored patrons. The pandemic has forced the staff to serve outside under a tent, but the men and women who come to Miriam's Kitchen can trust they'll be treated with respect. I love that the menu is printed on a chalkboard and someone goes around offering seconds of coffee, little touches that mean a lot to people. While they're there, guests can also tap into other forms of help from Miriam's Kitchen. Bottom line, food starts the conversation. The whole person is being addressed. The last time I was there, I asked one of the guests what he liked about Miriam's Kitchen. Without hesitation, he told me everything: service and the food, the people. To my ears, that sounds like the best possible review. Bravo, Miriam's Kitchen, and thank you for using food as a force for good and for change.
Hello, Miriam's Kitchen family. I am Destiny Simone Ramjohn, Vice President of Community Health and Social Impact with Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield. I am so proud to be a part of your Mission Critical Gala to celebrate those who are affecting change in our communities to end chronic and veteran homelessness. The COVID-19 crisis reminds us of our deep interdependence and that our entire community's health is affected when just one of our neighbors is unwell. The pandemic demonstrated that it truly takes a village to keep our communities healthy, safe, and informed. We are proud to have worked alongside you as partners in pursuing pandemic relief, response, and recovery with a $75,000 grant to support hundreds of Miriam's Kitchen guests to receive not just hot meals made from scratch, but also long-term housing assistance, COVID-19 testing, as well as essential behavioral health screenings and physical and wellness checkups. Our partnership is part of the overall Care First investment of close to $4.5 million in nonprofit organizations since the start of the pandemic. We did this to address needs of frontline clinics and health centers, as well as community-based organizations providing critical services in compassionate and safe environments. To ensure that safety of care for all residents of our region, Care First also invested $5 million in Care Delivered, our personal protective equipment initiative, to provide PPE at no cost to hundreds of social service organizations and medical organizations. Here again, We were really proud to support Miriam's Kitchen as a recipient of over 7,000 units of PPE, including face masks, gloves, and gowns. Prior to COVID and since 2015, CareFirst has invested over $161,000 in programs and sponsorships to address our shared commitment to investing in the social determinants of health among vulnerable residents in the District of Columbia and beyond. CareFirst is enthusiastic about our philanthropic investments with Miriam's Kitchen, but we are also proud to be the health plan of choice. We look forward to continuing our partnership and our shared vision of making housing and healthcare more affordable and accessible for the communities where we live, work, play, pray, and seek care. Congratulations on a wonderful gala.
Caring supporters like you have enabled Miriam's Kitchen to keep their doors open throughout the pandemic. Thank you to Bob and Janice Vitale and Tina Paul Tummins for your generous gifts to keep Miriam's Kitchen strong.
Hello, my name is Tom Sawanabori, and I'm the Chief Technology Officer at CTIA, representing the wireless industry. I also proudly serve on Miriam's Kitchen's Board of Directors. CTIA supports Miriam's Kitchen through financial sponsorship, fundraising, and volunteering, because we know how important it is to help those who are experiencing homelessness in our nation's capital. Today, I'm pleased to present a 2021 Mission Critical Change Award to Federal Communications Commissioner Jeffrey Starks for his work in building connections and bridging the digital divide. Commissioner Starks has been an early advocate in addressing digital inequities, highlighting the importance of connectivity for healthcare, education, and jobs. He is passionately driving policy changes that will help close those gaps. Thank you, Commissioner Starks, for your important work in creating a more connected and equitable community.
Thank you so much for this immense honor. I am truly humbled that you have chosen me to receive the Mission Critical Change Award. And I would like to thank Mr. Joseph, who I understand is the artist that I can thank for this magnificent piece of work that I will treasure. When I look at the lighthouse portrayed here, it provides support, guidance, and safety. And I can't help but think of the many homeless and youth shelters that I have visited as a commissioner. And of course, Miriam's Kitchen is an organization that I hold close to my heart because it provides respite and support to members of our community experiencing homelessness right here in Washington, D.C. You are the lighthouses for so many, and it has been a hard year. I know that many are struggling right now, and it has also been a tough year for shelters trying to see their way safely through the pandemic for their staff and guests. When I first stepped through the doors of Miriam's Kitchen in late 2019, I was immediately touched by its warm and welcoming atmosphere, created by both the guests and the members of staff. The genuine interactions with the people in that room serve as a reminder of the importance to care for and look out for our neighbors, because our fates are truly tied to one another. Guests there told me when I sat down with them how critical connectivity is to them, because it provides a way to access healthcare, apply for jobs, stay connected with family and friends. More lighthouses. And I saw firsthand the diligence and dedication by the staff in assisting one guest in particular that I met with that day, Mr. Anthony, in getting a Lifeline phone delivered for him there to Miriam's Kitchen. And that's exactly why I'm thankful for all of your continued efforts, because you all make immense strides in reducing chronic homelessness in our DC community by holistically serving your guests while rooting your mission in dignity. Your work reminds us how we can each use our platforms to collaborate on solutions that ensure everyone across this country has access to shelter and a community support system. And I'm thrilled that you all recognize that communications is a critical part of the fight to end chronic homelessness. This award renews my commitment to center the communications needs of people I meet at Miriam's Kitchen and in service centers and shelters across the nation. I look forward to the day where we can say that our joint efforts made homelessness and the digital divide issues of the past. Thank you again for all of your service, leadership, and passion. And thank you again for this great honor.
Those of you who support Miriam's Kitchen can see your investment at work, helping to provide delicious meals and the dignity of housing. And those who give today will see their impact doubled thanks to a matching grant from the A. James and Alice B. Clark Foundation.
Hi, my name is Lindsay Buss, and I'm at the World Bank where I lead staff and institutional philanthropy and community outreach. Miriam's Kitchen is very special to us, not just because of the incredible work that they do, but because for literally decades, we've shared a neighborhood and partnerships. Now, even with all that history, this past year was obviously very different. In March 2020, we stopped going to our offices in the neighborhood and began working from home. Now that paradigm highlights the reality that for many, that wasn't an option. Far too many, that wasn't an option. Miriam's Kitchen continued to support, to serve, and provide much more than a meal to our neighborhood. We were virtual. Miriam's Kitchen was very much in person. And for that, we were always going to be very, very grateful to Miriam's Kitchen because by supporting them, we were able to continue to be a part of our neighborhood when our neighborhood needed us most. Now, Miriam's Kitchen, of course, is much more about people than it is a place. And so on behalf of the World Bank Group staff, I especially want to extend our gratitude to all the Miriam's Kitchen staff for your dedication and for all that you do. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nelson Pena and I proudly represent NASA USA. In line with our passion for providing connection through food and strengthening our local communities, NASA USA has been proud to partner with Miriam's Kitchen as they work to connect our neighbors experiencing homelessness with meals to housing, especially as the pandemic has increased both food and housing insecurity. As a 2019 Belonging honoree, I know the dedication each honoree brings to our shared commitment of strengthening our community by ending chronic and veteran homelessness. I am very proud to present the 2021 Mission Critical Belonging Award to the A. James and Alice B. Clark Foundation. The mission of the A. James and Alice B. Clark Foundation is to expand opportunities for those who demonstrate the drive and determination to better themselves and their communities, as they demonstrated during their 14-year partnership with Miriam's Kitchen. This includes improving the lives of veterans and their families and providing members of the DC community the best opportunity to thrive. Most recently, the A. James and Alice B. Clark Foundation made a significant multi-year investment in Miriam's Kitchen, recognizing Miriam's Kitchen as a strong pillar in the community that makes a tremendous impact. It is my honor to present this year's Belonging Award to the A. James and Alice B. Clark Foundation for their long-standing and extensive efforts in creating stronger and more equitable communities where everyone can thrive. Accepting on behalf of the foundation is Ryan Palmer, Director of their Washington, D.C. Communities Initiatives. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Nelson, for the introduction, and thank you to the entire Miriam's Kitchen team for your incredible commitment to the DC community. On behalf of the Board of Directors and leadership of the A. James and Alice B. Clark Foundation, it is truly an honor to accept this award tonight. Since our founding in 1987, the Clark Foundation has been guided by its commitment to the Washington, D.C. region and the success of all who call it home. We are so proud to have counted Miriam's Kitchen among our grantee partners for over a decade. And now, as we approach our foundation sunset and we make some of our final investments in the DC community, our goal is to ensure that our partners are strong, sustainable, and able to deliver on their mission long after we are gone. And this is why we felt that it was important to invest in Miriam's Kitchen, providing multi-year support for the establishment of a robust communications department. With this investment, the team at the kitchen will be better equipped to, one, reshape the narrative around homelessness so that more people believe that ending chronic homelessness is not only possible, but also critical to a thriving community. 2, engage stakeholders and the broader community to take action to make the end of chronic and veteran homelessness in our nation's capital a reality. And 3, to amplify the voices of people with lived experience in the change that we seek. The Clark Foundation is proud to be investing in the futures of thousands of people, and indeed in the future of our whole region by investing in Miriam's Kitchen. We are grateful for the work of Scott and the entire team for all that they do every day for our community. And to those of you who are here tonight, whether you're a longtime partner or a new friend, we are so grateful for your support of this amazing organization. We hope that you will join us in ensuring that this work will continue for years to come. Thank you.
When many people think of Miriam's Kitchen, they think of the fresh, delicious meals served by Executive Chef Cheryl Bell and her team of talented chefs and volunteers there. But what you may not know is all of the work that happens behind the scenes to help individuals access critical care, increase their income, obtaining a safe, permanent home as well. Additionally, Miriam's Kitchen plays a unique leadership role in effecting changes throughout the city so that D.C. can join the list of communities that have ended chronic and veteran homelessness. Here now is a quick overview of Miriam's Kitchen's work in the community.
Ending chronic homelessness in DC will require increased funding for permanent supportive housing, significant improvements to our homeless services system, and the leadership of those with lived experience of homelessness. That's why at Miriam's Kitchen, we work tirelessly to mobilize our supporters to influence local laws and budgets, and to amplify the voices of those most impacted by DC's homelessness crisis.
We also recognize that this work requires a strong presence within our neighborhoods so that we can develop meaningful connections. Connections that guide our neighbors to the countless services we have to offer them as they take the journey towards a better life.
And we can't forget the most important resource against chronic homelessness is permanent supportive housing. Beyond just a place to live, housing is healthcare, housing is safety, and housing is our ultimate goal for our guests here at Miriam's Kitchen.
Yes, thank you. Yes, okay, bye. But it doesn't stop there. The fight against chronic homelessness means doing what is necessary to make sure that our guests are able to live healthy lifestyle once they're off the street. We maintain a long, healthy, and lasting relationship with our guests so that we can continue to connect them with a multitude of resources within the community. None of this is possible without support of people like you.
We also know that our neighbors living on the street experience challenges every day that we could never imagine. So our very first step to break the barriers our guests face within the housing crisis is to treat them with the dignity they deserve. This is why we make sure that our first introduction is through a healthy, made-from-scratch meal served in a welcoming environment.
Thank you to the entire team at Miriam's Kitchen for allowing the J. Willard and Alice S. Marriott Family Foundation to have been such a long-time supporter of all of you and your hard work. Never has the work been harder than in this year of the pandemic. And you showed up, each and every one of you, tirelessly, day after day, to make sure that your clients were served, were fed, were cared for. We couldn't be more proud to have this stage on which to thank you today for all that you have done and all that we know you will continue to do. Congratulations on all of your successes, and thank you for your commitment to our city's most vulnerable friends and neighbors.
My name is May Powers, and I'm the Chief Development Officer here at Miriam's Kitchen. This past year, I've seen the best of how communities can come together to support their neighbors, especially early in the pandemic. Organizations that were struggling to find personal protection equipment, we had individuals in quilting circles break out their sewing needles to make cloth masks so that we could distribute them to staff and guests. When businesses shut down, organizations like Sodexo, Chef's Warehouse, and local area restaurants stepped in to provide proteins, high-end grains, pastas, condiments, and even foie gras so that we could continue to make amazing meals for our guests. And when the city was making their pandemic response, Miriam's Kitchen worked with leaders across the city to make sure things like safe places for unsheltered residents were included. I am so grateful for the caring community members like you who stepped up to help keep our doors open, our staff strong, and most importantly, support our guests during this critical time of need. Even though we can't be gathered in person tonight, we are connected by what we've been able to achieve together, including helping more than 100 individuals move into their first home in years. That means, in the midst of a pandemic, 100 more people have a safe place to quarantine or rest and recover if they get sick. As vaccines roll out, and with the warm weather on hand, it's easy to think that we can begin to relax. However, we must not lose this moment of focus. This is our opportunity to not just respond to crisis, but actually end homelessness. This past year, the whole world has been racing to find a solution to end COVID-19. But we already know the solution to homelessness. It's housing. And Miriam's Kitchen is a critical bridge to help connect guests to a safe, permanent home. By investing to strengthen Miriam's Kitchen as that key bridge, you can help provide dignity, belonging, and change. First, dignity. You can provide a dignified space by helping us renovate our deteriorating bathrooms before guests return from more than a year of using a portable restroom outside. And belonging. You can help us create and implement new health measures, including purchasing more air purifiers, hand sanitizing stations, so that we can create a safe, welcoming space where guests feel like they can belong. And finally, change. You can create lasting change by pushing decision makers to dismantle the structures that even allow homelessness to exist and to invest in what we know can end homelessness. By giving tonight, each dollar you give will be matched up to $150,000 thanks to the A. James and Alice B. Clark Foundation. That means each dollar you give will go even further to support our vital services from meals to housing that will have a direct and immediate impact on the lives of our guests, as well as a lasting impact in our community. This past year has shown us what we're capable of when we pay attention, come together, and make critical resources available. This is our moment, our opportunity to do more than respond to crisis and instead end homelessness and create a more equitable community where everyone has a safe place to live. Together, we can help DC join the list of communities that have already ended chronic and veteran homelessness. Communities like Virginia and Montgomery County. It can happen. If you take one thing away from tonight, please remember that ending chronic and veteran homelessness is possible, urgent, and critical to a safe, healthy, and thriving community. And you are key in making that a reality.
Whether you can give $10 or $10,000, your gift will make a big difference in the lives of your neighbors experiencing homelessness. And don't forget, your gift can do twice as much good thanks to a matching grant from the A. James and Alice B. Clark Foundation. Thank you to Michael Kirschbaum and Gina Price, as well as Tom and Diana Sawanabori.
My name is Tim Keating, and I'm here tonight representing the Boeing Company. Boeing has proudly partnered with Miriam's Kitchen for over a decade to support their remarkable work in our local community. Through our local engagement activities, Boeing is committed not only to providing financial support, but also to mobilizing our employees as volunteers to help Miriam's Kitchen deliver critical services and create a pathway to housing for our neighbors who need it the most. Through our long-standing partnership with Miriam's Kitchen, we've seen chronic and veterans homelessness decrease significantly in our nation's capital. As we continue our progress, we know broad community support is mission critical for accomplishing our goal. In that spirit, it's my distinct pleasure tonight to present the 2021 Mission Critical Change Award to Senator Kyrsten Sinema of Arizona. This award was hand-painted by a local artist who Miriam's Kitchen helped find a permanent home where he can create his amazing art. This achievement exemplifies Senator Sinema's tireless work on these important policy issues. As someone who has experienced homelessness and hunger firsthand, Senator Sinema is helping lead the way to create positive change for struggling individuals and families. I think it's important that we highlight leaders who are advocating for policies that can benefit millions of Americans. Senator Sinema, we are grateful for your efforts and for the example you are setting in the United States Senate. Thank you for sharing your inspiring personal story and for your work to advance initiatives that will make a real difference in addressing homelessness, especially in the veteran communities throughout the country and here in our nation's capital. Thank you for your tireless work to create a community in which everyone has a safe place to call home, where everyone can not only live but thrive. Congratulations, Senator Sinema, and to Miriam's Kitchen for exceptional work to support all that call Washington, D.C. home.
Good evening. It's an honor to join you all today and celebrate Miriam's Kitchen's work to end homelessness in our nation's capital. The services you provide and your commitment to ending chronic homelessness has delivered tangible results, helping house thousands of those in need, including many veterans. As some of you may know, ending homelessness is a cause close to my heart. When I was growing up, my family faced hard times and struggled. When I was in elementary school, my dad lost his job. Then, like many families facing similar challenges, my parents got divorced. My mom suddenly found herself the single mother of 3 little kids, and she'd never had the opportunity to get a college education. It was hard for her to make ends meet, and we lost our home. For years, my family struggled, and there were times when we went to bed hungry, but we got by thanks in large part to community support. Miriam's Kitchen provides that critical community support to thousands of people who are currently struggling to make ends meet and who find themselves without a safe place to call home. Your work is even more important during this unprecedented public health and economic crisis. Too many Americans are facing or experiencing homelessness today. Challenges such as mental illnesses, addiction, foreclosures, and domestic violence do not go away during a global pandemic. And when disasters like the coronavirus strike, lower-income families bear the brunt. In the Senate, I'm focused on building bipartisan coalitions to help families get back on their feet. That's why Senators Lisa Murkowski, Joe Manchin, and I recently introduced the Bipartisan Emergency Family Stabilization Act. Our bill creates new resources to empower community service organizations like Miriam's Kitchen, helping ensure families experiencing homelessness have safe spaces to shelter and receive supportive services during this uncertain time. I'm also proud that at the end of last year, Senator Dan Sullivan and I passed our Homeless Veterans Coronavirus Response Act into law. Our bipartisan bill delivers resources to the VA's homelessness programs, increasing veterans' access to housing, healthcare, and emergency resources during the ongoing public health crisis. Our work doesn't end there, and it will be an uphill climb to eradicate homelessness. But I'm from Arizona, and I'll never back down from a challenge, and I'm proud to be a partner in this effort with all of you. So thank you again for your service to your community and your critical work ending chronic and veteran homelessness.
Tonight, as we celebrate the work and support of all of those in the Miriam's Kitchen community, we would like to honor the memory of 2 valued members of the Miriam's Kitchen family, Walden Adams and Rhonda Whitaker. Walden was an incredibly kind and generous soul who was always looking out for others. Through his work in homeless street outreach, advocacy with the Way Home campaign, and leadership on several boards and committees, he worked tirelessly to end homelessness in DC. He was an avid runner, a movie buff, an inspiring public speaker, and a true leader in our community. He will be sorely missed, and we recommit to fighting for housing justice in his honor. Additionally, we remember and celebrate the life of Rhonda Whitaker. We had previously planned to celebrate with Rhonda this evening as she received the 2021 Dignity Award for her commitment to ending homelessness in her community. So tonight, we invite Ashley Gorsica to share a few words in Rhonda's memory.
Rhonda brought warmth and light to every space she occupied: the classroom, church, the steps of the Wilson Building, and the crosswalks where she worked. Her smile was infectious. She made each person she came across feel welcome simply by being present. It's who she was. Rhonda was such a brilliant speaker and was always open to sharing her voice. I remember when we were rehearsing her remarks in the sanctuary of Western Presbyterian Church for an event in March 2019. She had said that was her first time speaking in public and that she was extremely nervous. When she read through her remarks that afternoon, I got chills. There's no way this could be her first time speaking publicly, but it was. Speaking her truth came so effortlessly to her. The power in her words and her experiences were unmatched. When she spoke, you wanted to listen. Rhonda was a fierce advocate for justice. She loved her people and community deeply and did everything in her power to make sure that DC was a place where everyone could thrive. When she wasn't working in class or demanding change in front of policymakers, you would likely find her out in the community, speaking with people and connecting them to housing services. She believed every single person deserved a home of their own and gave her whole self to make this a reality. Rhonda exemplified the very best of humanity. She was loved and admired by everyone who came to know her. She and Walden are going to be deeply missed. We are all better because of them, and we will honor them by continuing to fight for an end to homelessness in DC. Rest in power, Rhonda and Walden.
Hello, I'm Church the Poet. I'm glad to be here today with you. I know I can't be there at the gala in person, but I am glad to be able to be invited back to perform this piece for you. For me, Miriam Kitchen means more than just a place where we can go and talk, but as a place where we can actually be excited about the things that we can do outside of just talking, but knowing that people are being helped. This poem is for you. Nobody knows the feeling of being left out in the cold till you've been left out, cold, shaking, and searching for the next inviting smile. Open arms feel like an invitation. Hugs feel like a warm blanket. A hot meal feels like love sprinkled in brown sugar. This is the moment that Miriam's Kitchen was built for. Warning, this poem will trigger all the emotions of being alone with no one to count on. We can't count how many times we've extended our hand out or how many souls have been saved at the kitchen table. Here we don't label. We don't judge or discredit your story because there is a story inside the story. We're here to listen and point you to the shelter where you can take your seats and eat. We've been in community for years, so just imagine the tears we're all stepping on, the lives we've been changed over a glass of hot cocoa and warm tea, the delicious food that we serve, turkey and dressing, mac and cheese. We don't just serve cookies and chips. The chips on shoulders we've knocked off. I pray that you can hear the truth and see the passion we carry into these doors daily. Everyone deserves a better day, another chance, a reason to push through, a hot meal, forgiveness, an advocate for them, prayer, someone that reaches out, hugs, a friend in the kitchen, a place to call home, a bed to lay their head. This is us. Here we are. We are the better. We are the next step, the olive branch. We are a mere coincidence. This is our calling. Let us help. We are Miriam's Kitchen, giving our place of hope and love since 1983. So many hearts, and souls loved and served.
Thank you so much for joining Miriam's Kitchen this evening. Your support of Miriam's Kitchen helps to keep our community strong. And remember, by giving today, your gift will be matched 1-to-1 up to $150,000 by the A. James and Alice B. Clark Foundation. Now, to close out this evening, please enjoy a special performance from musicians of the Kennedy Center Opera House Orchestra. They've often played for guests in the dining rooms of Miriam's Kitchen, and tonight you can enjoy their music safely from your own home. Enjoy.